How to think strategically as a leader. Let's get into it. Thinking strategically as a leader is a high performance habit, and it's a mindset. So there's many books written on strategic thinking and strategy. However, none of it really makes a difference until you as a leader experience for yourself being able to shift your thinking to strategic thinking. So let's start with how we normally think as leaders. For most leaders, what we're thinking about is the day-to-day. So we're more in the world of what do I need to get done today kind of thinking. What does the team need to do? What do I need to do for the customers today? What are the projects I'm managing? What is it I need to get somebody in the organization today? What is it that's expected of me today? So we have a very narrow, short-term view by default. And that's not a problem. It's just important for you to know that that's the way that most of us are going to walk into our day of what there is to do and handle. We're going to be thinking short-term. We're going to be thinking task-oriented. We're going to be thinking what's expected of us and what we need to do to kind of stay ahead of things. You get the experience of that? Strategic thinking is a different mode of thinking. It's not better than task thinking or short-term thinking. It's just a different muscle to work, and it yields different results. So let's look at what strategic thinking is. Strategic thinking as a leader is, in my experience, usually begins with taking a deep breath. So I take a deep breath. And what am I taking a deep breath from? Well, I'm starting to create some space for myself in my own thinking from what is right in front of me. You know, what are the tasks that I need to get done today? Okay, they will still be there in a few minutes or in a few hours or even in a few days, because strategic thinking needs to be put in place periodically so that you're actually taking a longer term view of your business and your leadership and your accountabilities, and you're answering bigger questions than just what's in front of me today. So the deep breath first is the access to know I need to let go of the drive to get things done today. That I will come back to, and I need to actually intentionally give myself some room, that means schedule time, to do strategic thinking as a leader. And then strategic thinking has more, as I said, the nature of long-term planning. You know, I can then step into the future and I can start to look and ask questions that are strategic, such as where do I want to be at the end of this month, the end of this quarter, the end of this year? Where do I want to be in 5 years? What's the bigger plan? Why are we organizing the work that we're organizing? What's the outcome of all of that work? What is the most desirable future state that we could actually accomplish? What is a future state that I could accomplish that if I knew it was possible to accomplish, I would really go for? Because there's kind of like the future state you can see that you're going to get to anyway, just by doing what you're already doing. And then there's kind of the breakthrough future state, which will require new thinking and new actions and new team members perhaps, and new strategies. But if you're to spend the same amount of time, because it's going to be the next 3 months of your life or the next year of your life or the next 5 years of your life, what might you be interested in accomplishing that doesn't show up without asking that question? I want you to know that when I work with teams, there is virtually nothing that cannot be accomplished as far as goal setting and business results once the team talks about it, talks through the thinking, shares their vision, and get inspired together about a bigger future, perhaps, than they were thinking about when they walked into the strategic thinking exercise, so to speak. And then you really want to get the difference and the power that this makes. You see, you're going to go back to your day-to-day anyway. People are going to go back to their to-do lists and their calendars and their goals and their metrics and their KPIs. And that work will either be shaped by a new longer-term vision or it won't be. It's not better to have a longer-term vision. It just allows for more results. So in other words, to keep it really simple, your team could say, we're going to double our revenue over the next 2 years. Or they don't need to say that. Both are fine, but can you see that if you say as a team that we're going to double our revenue over the next 2 years, that you, if you're operating with integrity with what you said, that is, you're taking the actions consistent with doubling your revenue, that you will end up likely at a whole different place in 2 years than if you didn't have that strategic initiative called double our revenue in 2 years. It starts to reorganize the molecules of the brain. When we put something in place strategically, that we then, you can think about it like we need to confront or we bump up against, for the team to reorganize their workflows, to reorganize strategies, to reinvent certain areas of the business, to expand certain areas of the business, perhaps to retire certain areas of the business, practices of the business. What got us here won't get us there. And when you have that, we're going to always be expanding as a business and as a leadership team. You have that mindset. That's a strategic mindset. We're always looking for opportunities strategically to impact more people, to grow our revenue, to grow our profitability, to grow our employee base, to have what we're in service of reach through to more and more people. That is a strategic conversation. Okay, so your practice in high performance is to know that setting aside time for strategic thinking is not the soft part of the business. It's not the get the team together for team building side of the business. It is fundamental to really where you end up in your business and fundamental to what's required for you as a leader to grow into. See, the bigger strategic future I invent for myself, also, the more I have to call myself forward as a leader to accomplish it. Now, for some teams or some leaders, they shy away from that. For others, they run to it, right? They're like, yes, we want to develop what we don't know today to get us to where we want to go tomorrow. And they're willing to say, we don't have all the answers. That's not the point of strategic thinking. The point of strategic thinking is to set that vision and then start to explore the strategies coming from that vision with your team, with others, and innovate together and create together. You continue to manage the core of your business strategically because that's a strategic priority, and you allow for new creativity and innovation and inspiration to sit along beside it. Your high performance practice, again, is to look to see where are you task oriented in your thinking? That's fine. And where are you strategic oriented in your thinking? And if it's out of balance, look for occasions now to have more time for you to take that breath and step into the future and really ask those big questions, because you're going to have the same 12 months come at you no matter what. The only question is, what's the quality of those 12 months? What's the capacity of those 12 months? What could the team really produce and create together over the 12 months beyond what's just predictable?